I'll be honest with you. There's a moment that plays in my mind every night before I fall asleep. A moment I can't shake, no matter how much time passes. It wasn't dramatic in the way movies show these things. No lightning strike, no sudden chaos. Just a sound. A desperate, non-stop sound. My dog's barking, sharp, frantic, almost breaking apart as if each bark carried a different kind of fear, echoing through the house in a way I had never heard before. And what's wild is that I didn't understand it at first. I didn't understand what she was trying to say. But if she hadn't done what she did, I don't like to think about where I'd be right now. I want you to hear this story the way it really happened. Not polished, not filtered, just the truth, exactly how it unfolded from my point of view. Because that day changed the way I see everything. My home, my health, my future, and especially my dog. After what happened, I stopped thinking of her as just a pet. She became something I can't fully define. Something between a guardian, a warning system, and a friend who seemed to know me better than I knew myself. It all started on a Thursday morning that was supposed to be normal. The kind of normal you don't even remember afterward because nothing stands out. I woke up a little tired, but nothing alarming. I had skipped breakfast, again, because I had work piling up, emails flashing on my phone before I even had both eyes open. I rushed through the house, stepping over my dog Luna, who kept following me around with this persistent look. At the moment, I brushed it off as her usual routine. She always wanted attention in the mornings, especially when she sensed I was stressed. But that day, it wasn't the usual play with me energy. Her eyes stayed glued on me in a way that felt intentional, focused. If I had known what was coming, I would have paid attention. But hindsight makes geniuses out of all of us, right? Around late morning, I started feeling this strange heaviness in my chest. Not sharp, not painful, just heavy, like someone was quietly stacking stones inside me one by one. I figured it was anxiety. Happens to everyone. A couple deep breaths, stretch my shoulders, shrug it off. But it didn't go away. It moved through me slowly, like my body was shutting down sections of itself in silence. My vision blurred for a second. My hands felt colder than usual. Even then, I still didn't think it was serious. I just wanted to sit down, maybe take a minute. Luna didn't like that. She walked circles around me, brushing against my legs, nudging my knee with her nose. I told her, "It's okay, girl," but she wouldn't stop. She kept pacing, tail stiff, ears pointed forward, her whole posture screaming that something was wrong. I took a step toward the couch, and my foot didn't land where I thought it would. The room tilted. I blinked, tried to steady myself, but it was too late. The floor rose to meet me, and everything shifted into a slow, distant soundscape. The thud felt far away, like it happened to someone else. My limbs didn't respond the way I wanted them to. My body felt disconnected, heavy, uncooperative, and every breath felt like dragging air through a narrow straw. That's when Luna exploded into panic. She barked, loud, sharp, repetitive, each bark slicing through the air with a kind of desperation I had never heard. Not when she wanted to go outside, not when she heard strangers, not even when she was scared of thunderstorms. This was different. She sprinted around me, pushing her nose against my face, then running toward the door, then back to me, over and over, as if she was trying to pull the house into action. I tried to move. I really did. But my body wasn't cooperating. My head felt like it was filled with static, my thoughts scattering every time I tried to focus on one. Luna's barking became this rhythmic pulse, my only connection to reality. It kept me from slipping away into that blurry fog. She ran to the front door and started clawing at it, barking even louder. Then she ran back to me, nudging me, whining, licking my hand. She was doing everything she could to get me up, to get someone's attention, to make something happen. And something did. Luna had scratched so aggressively at the door that she flipped the small metal latch I had installed years ago. the kind of latch that was only meant to keep delivery packages from being pushed inside. But somehow her frantic scratching loosened it enough that the door wasn't fully closed anymore. It wasn't open, but it wasn't latched either. That tiny detail, that insignificant little thing, was what saved me. Because my neighbor, Mrs. Carter, happened to be outside watering her plants. She heard Luna's nonstop barking, and she knew something was off. Luna loved her. Normally, she'd wag her tail, bark once, maybe twice. But that day, she sounded like she was trying to alert the entire street. Mrs. Carter walked up to my door and called my name through the gap. Luna barked even harder. When Mrs. Carter pushed the door slightly and it moved, she knew something was wrong. She stepped inside and found me on the floor, struggling to move, barely able to respond. She rushed over, checked if I was conscious, and immediately called for help. Luna never stopped barking, not once, until she saw someone kneeling beside me. I remember hearing feet rushing toward me. I remember voices, urgent, clipped, trying to stay calm. I remember Luna standing beside them, tail low, ears forward, watching every move. The paramedics said I was lucky. Very lucky. They said the fact that someone found me as quickly as they did made all the difference. They said another hour alone on that floor could have ended in something far worse. And as they said it, Luna rested her head on my arm and refused to move. When they lifted me onto the stretcher, she cried out, not a bark, something softer, worried. The paramedics let her walk beside us until the door of the ambulance closed. And even then, I could see her through the small window, pacing, staring at the lights, refusing to look away. At the hospital, they ran tests, asked questions, monitored everything. I drifted in and out, still replaying the sound of Luna's frantic barking in my ears. That sound became the thread that tied me to consciousness, to awareness, to the moment everything changed. Hours later, when things finally stabilized and I could think clearly again, my first question was, "Where's my dog?" They told me my neighbor had taken her home and that she had spent the whole time going from the front door to the window, waiting for me. When I was finally discharged the next day and stepped out of the car in front of my house, Luna didn't bark this time. She ran straight to me, ears down, tail shaking uncontrollably, pressing her whole body against my legs as if trying to make sure I was real. I held her for a long time, but that wasn't the end of it. Not even close. Because after that day, I started noticing things. Patterns, signals, moments when Luna tried to warn me before I even realized something was wrong. Little things at first, then bigger things. And eventually, a moment that changed everything again. But I'll get there. Recovery wasn't easy. The doctors told me I needed to take better care of myself, manage stress, fix my sleep routine, eat regularly. They said I had ignored my body's warning signs for too long. They talked about health, balance, long-term risks. But what stayed with me the most was something one of the paramedics said before leaving my house. "Your dog saved your life today. Don't underestimate what she knows." At first, I thought it was just a comforting line, something people say to make you feel grateful for your pet. But over the next days and weeks, I realized he meant it literally. Luna watched me constantly. Not in a clingy way, more like she was monitoring me, analyzing every step I took. If I got up too fast, she followed. If I sat down and leaned back like I was tired, she'd rest her chin on my knee. If I stayed still too long, she'd nudge me until I moved. And then something strange happened. About a week after everything, I dropped a glass in the kitchen. Not a big deal. It slipped from my hand, hit the counter, and shattered. But before the glass even hit the floor, I felt a wave of dizziness again. Not as strong as the day I collapsed, but enough to make me pause. Luna sensed it instantly. She trotted toward me with purpose, ears up, tail stiff, eyes narrowed with recognition. She sat in front of me and growled, not aggressively, but deeply, like she was trying to anchor me to the moment. And as fast as it came, the dizziness faded. It was the same kind of heaviness as before, just lighter. A warning. I remember whispering, "How did you know?" She simply stared back, unblinking, steady. Over the next couple of days, the strange episodes kept happening. Brief waves of lightheadedness or fatigue that came and went. And every single time, Luna reacted seconds before my body did. It was like she could smell the shift in me, or hear something, or sense it. I don't know. I still don't know. But I stopped doubting her. And then came the night when everything escalated again. Worse than the first time, more confusing, and with consequences I still think about every day. But I'll explain that in the next part. The night everything escalated again didn't announce itself with pain or panic. It crept in quietly. So quietly that if Luna hadn't reacted the way she did, I might have ignored the signs entirely. It was a Friday. I had just finished eating dinner and was sitting on the couch, letting the silence of the house settle around me. The lights were dim, the TV was off, and Luna was lying near my feet with her head resting on her paws. She looked calm, completely at ease. But then, out of nowhere, her head shot up. Her ears perked. Her body tensed. Her eyes locked onto me like she was watching something shift behind my skin. I hadn't moved. I hadn't said anything. I hadn't felt anything yet. But she knew something was coming. Before I could even ask what was wrong, Luna rose slowly, step by careful step, her tail lowering as she approached me. She sniffed the air around my knees, then around my chest, then near my face. Each breath she took was sharp, quick, searching for something. Her eyes widened, and she let out a low, trembling whine. That's the moment the sensation hit me. A sudden wave of heat washed over my body, followed by a heavy pressure in my head. My vision pulsed. It felt like someone dimmed the world and then brought it back, like a flicker in the power system of my own mind. I blinked hard, trying to clear it, but the heaviness only intensified. My hands felt weak. My heartbeat stumbled. Not painful, just irregular, confused, out of rhythm. Luna stepped back and barked once, just once. A sharp, urgent warning. I tried to stand up to get water, but my legs didn't support me. I staggered and braced myself on the wall, breathing through the sudden fog filling my chest. It wasn't like the first collapse. This time I was still conscious enough to know something was wrong. Very wrong. I looked down at Luna, and she was trembling. Not from fear. This was something else. She was anticipating what was happening to me before my mind could even interpret it. She barked again, louder this time, then ran toward the hallway. But she didn't leave. She stopped halfway, looked back at me, barked again as if saying, "Move. Something's happening. Don't stay still." I forced myself to follow her, and each step felt like dragging cement blocks. My legs were heavy, my breath shallow, and the strange pounding in my head grew stronger. The hallway lights flickered in my vision, though I wasn't even sure if they were actually flickering, or if it was just my perception breaking apart. Luna kept turning back every few seconds, making sure I was still behind her. She led me not to the front door, not to the kitchen, but to my bedroom. I didn't understand at first. Why there? Why not somewhere safer in case I fell? But then it hit me. My phone was in the bedroom. That small realization made everything inside me tighten with unease. Luna wasn't just reacting anymore. She was guiding me, taking me where she knew help was possible. I stumbled into the bedroom and collapsed onto the edge of the bed, breathing heavily, sweat forming near my temples. Luna jumped onto the bed beside me. She placed her paws on my chest, leaned her body against mine to keep me upright, and barked again, sharp, piercing, right into my ear. It wasn't panic. It was insistence. I grabbed my phone and barely managed to unlock it. My fingers felt thick, clumsy, like they didn't belong to me. I struggled to dial anyone. And as I did, Luna suddenly lunged off the bed and ran back toward the front of the house. Her barking went wild again, not the one-bark warning she had given seconds before. This was the full-force, frantic, guttural sound I remembered from the day she saved me. It echoed down the hallway, filling every room, bouncing off the walls. That was when I realized how serious the situation had become. I tried to shout her name, but my voice barely came out. I leaned back, trying to steady my breathing, hearing her bark as if she were fighting something invisible. Then, over the sound of her barking, I heard knocking at my door. Not gentle knocking. Urgent, repeated, heavy. My neighbor's voice came through the door again. Mrs. Carter. She called my name loudly, saying she heard Luna's frantic barking again and wanted to check on me. I tried to answer, but my voice cracked, barely audible. Luna barked louder, almost as if she was trying to translate what I couldn't say. I pushed myself off the bed, stumbling through the hallway, using the wall as support, feeling the house tilt around me. When I reached the living room, I saw the door handle wiggle. Thankfully, I hadn't locked the top latch all the way after coming home earlier. I just pulled the door closed out of habit. That tiny oversight worked in my favor again. The door opened slightly, and Mrs. Carter stepped inside. The moment her eyes landed on me, she froze. I could tell she recognized the signs from last time. She rushed toward me, grabbed my arm to steady me, and immediately called for help, again. Her voice was firm, loud, controlled. She had lived through the first emergency, and she wasn't going to wait this time. Luna stood between us the whole time, panting, barking intermittently, her body trembling from the adrenaline. The next minutes felt like an eternity and a blur at the same time. I remember hearing sirens in the distance. I remember collapsing onto the couch because my legs finally gave out. I remember Luna pressing herself against my side. Her eyes locked on mine, refusing to look away even for a second. The paramedics arrived, checked my vitals, asked questions I barely registered. The whole room spun around me, and my heartbeat felt like it was flipping between rhythms, never settling on one. They said it was good I didn't lose consciousness entirely this time. They said getting help faster made a significant difference. They said my dog had reacted earlier than most humans could. One of them even crouched beside Luna, looked her in the eyes and said, "You're a hero." Again. I remember that clearly. They helped me onto the stretcher and rolled me toward the ambulance. Luna followed, pacing in tight circles, whining loudly. When the doors closed, she pressed her face against the gap, refusing to let the vehicle out of her sight. At the hospital, the doctors ran more tests, compared results, asked me about the previous days, the symptoms, the strange brief episodes I had ignored. They told me what I was dealing with wasn't something that came out of nowhere. It had been building quietly, gradually, masked under stress and exhaustion. But the strangest part, the part that even the doctors couldn't fully explain, was Luna's behavior. They all agreed she sensed the episodes before I did. They said dogs could detect changes in breathing patterns, slight shifts in scent, micro-expressions, subtle signs we don't consciously process. But the precision she had shown, that was what amazed everyone. Even the medical team admitted they'd never seen a dog respond so consistently, so accurately. When I was stable enough, they let me go home again. Another neighbor had brought Luna to the hospital entrance so she could see me. The moment the sliding doors opened, she jumped, tail wagging wildly, and barked once. Not a frantic bark this time, but a relieved one. I knelt down, slowly, and wrapped my arms around her. She melted into me, pressing her face into my chest like she was making sure I was alive and real and staying. From that day on, my life changed. Not in a dramatic new chapter way, but in quiet, deliberate ways. I listened to my body. I took the doctors seriously. I changed my routine: sleep, food, stress management. And I paid more attention to Luna than I ever had before. If she nudged me, I stopped what I was doing. If she stared at me too long, I took a break. If she paced around me, I checked how I was feeling. And every single time, she was right. Weeks passed, and the small episodes gradually faded. My body adjusted. Medication helped. Better habits helped even more. Luna watched over me the whole time, as if waiting for the next battle. But the truth is, there hasn't been another emergency since then. No more collapses. No more frightening waves of pressure or dizziness. And every night when I sit on the couch and Luna lies beside me, her head resting on my leg, I remember how close I came to losing everything. Twice. Twice she saved me. Not because she was trained for it. Not because she understood the medical situation. But because she knew me. Because she recognized something in me changing before I did. Because she refused to stay quiet when silence could have cost me everything. People think dogs just bark for attention, or food, or strangers outside. But sometimes they bark because they're the only alarm system your body has left. I'll never forget the sound of Luna's barking that day, or the way her paws shook when she realized I wasn't moving, or the way she refused to leave my side even when paramedics surrounded me. Call it instinct, call it loyalty, call it something spiritual. I don't care what name anyone gives it. I'm alive because my dog refused to stop barking, and I will spend the rest of my life making sure she knows exactly what she means to me. Thank you for listening to my story, and if you share your life with a dog, pay attention to them. Sometimes they see the danger before you even feel it. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end of this video. If this story moved you, consider subscribing and sharing it with someone who needs to hear it. May you be blessed with health, protection, and loyal friends, both human and animal.